Siemens Transform Innovation Day 2024.
Siemens India organized the 5th edition of Transform Innovation Day 2024, the company's established platform to showcase customer-specific technologies. Siemens India brought together business and technology experts to explore the impact of technologies such as industrial AI, industrial metaverse, and digital twins on organizations in a rapidly changing world. Through real-world applications and success stories, Siemens India led the conversation on how technologies are reshaping operations, boosting efficiency, and driving sustainable growth in manufacturing, infrastructure, energy, and mobility. Sunil Mathur, MD and CEO of Siemens India, set the tone for the event with a compelling welcome address, followed by the keynote address from Peter Korte, member of the Managing Board and CTO at Siemens AG, who shared his insights on how simplicity in technology can transform everyday life.
I think it is fair to say that over the years, and particularly in the last couple of years, the pace at which technology has picked up has been unprecedented. For many, particularly in businesses, first getting an overview of what technologies are out there, and secondly, being able to contextualize that to your respective businesses is becoming an increasing challenge. And that is what we are trying to do at our innovation days here, is to really contextualize the latest technologies that are available out there and enable you to really see how you can find solutions to the most complex problems that you are facing. Now, in 2022, in this very innovation day, we launched Siemens Xcelerator with the idea of doing exactly that, with the idea of enabling customers on their journeys of productivity, resource efficiency, energy efficiency, speed and scale. And in the meantime, we have expanded the offerings on this digital platform to multiple areas, whether it is buildings, whether it is utilities, whether it is industries, different industries, and data centers.
Today, there's estimates that there's about 18 billion IoT devices. 18 billion IoT devices, twice as many humans. And it's growing at 15% every year. Now just think about what that will do to the amount of data we're going to see in the future. Much more of that. Except today, most of that data in industry in particular is locked and is not being used as much as it should and as it could. And this is where we as Siemens come and say, with Siemens Xcelerator, as Sunil spoke about, we want to help you to combine the real world with all the intelligence assets that you have at your disposal and combine it with the intelligence out of the digital world. But let me emphasize yet again, as we did the past 2 years, we cannot do this alone. That's why it's great to have all our partners here today, also on the outside as you go outside of the meeting room. And you will find a lot of great examples where we collaborate. For example, where we make steel production much, much more sustainable. We want to build a more competitive industry, which is much more CO2 neutral, and where our lives are becoming much, much better. It's quite simple. All what we do is we have to work together, because in the end, it's not technology that makes the difference. It's the people that use the technology to make that very difference. And all what you need to do is by asking one very simple question, and that is, what if?
Next, the head of foundational technologies at Siemens AG captivated the audience with his talk on more data beats algorithms.
Today, producing cheaper and higher quality doesn't really matter if you can't produce it all. Because what is much more important today is that you can react fast, that you can adapt to everything life is throwing at you. If my supply chain is disrupted, how do I change my supply chain? How do I rechange my the product design that I have, because if I can't produce, nothing matters. So the real challenge for industry is how do I adapt fast? It's all about becoming faster. That's, by the way, why we call our platform Siemens Xcelerator, because we promise we will make our customers, you, and our partners faster. So how do you get faster? How do you get faster in industry? And we believe the biggest driver for getting faster in industry, which is an asset-driven, it's an asset-driven thing, is use software. You need to move at the speed of software, and that's why we talk so often about digitalization. Because if you're in the real world, you can be 10 times, 100 times, a million times faster simply because you don't have to obey to the laws of physics, which happens in industry. Because I can use the power of the cloud. All the data I can simulate. The only limitation I have is how much compute is available. And when we talk about these fancy words like digital twins, it means nothing else that you have a notion of physical assets that you can simulate and describe, and physical processes, and then do stuff much faster, much more resource efficient.
The momentum at Transform Innovation Day 2024 continued with a joint presentation on digital transformation for sustainable manufacturing, demonstrating innovative solutions designed by Siemens to revolutionize manufacturing processes and drive sustainability.
So what I'm going to talk about, and along with a colleague of mine, is how we've used some of these technologies in our own lives, because that's the best way of getting benefits from our own technology. Also to see how these and give feedback to our developers, our R&D organizations on the real world and how these technologies are impacting life as we manufacture. And the third most important thing is these are not just for big companies out there in the global world, but also relevant for small and mid-sized companies, mid-sized businesses operating in India. Well, the example of our operations 25 kilometers from here in Kalwa, I think, is well known to a lot of you because it's been in the press and the media for a long, long time. But just for people who are still not aware, this was a factory which was being challenged as to whether we continue its operations a couple of decades back. And what we could do here using our own technologies and using digitalization was phenomenal. We actually, I will not get into the details, but the output grew 35% from 1.1 million pieces to 1.5 million pieces per year. 22 different variants on 3 lines got transformed to 350 plus variants of products on a single line. Cycle time reduction from 21 seconds to 9 seconds. And I think it is best we hear from somebody who's actually gone through the journey, lived the journey, gone through the pains, as well as enjoying some of the benefits that have already accrued there. So Vani, you already had phenomenal accomplishments and achievements from this business and the factory. So why did you suddenly get into this whole concept of digitalization? What made you think? What was the inflection point?
Oh, so why transform?
Why transform?
That's a good question. As I said, we were growing and we were growing exponentially. Yeah. But when we talk about growth, growth also comes with a lot of complexities. And we also face the same challenges. Yeah. So it started with the lagging capacities, missing material, customer escalations, and there were many more. Normally, the first reaction when we get into such kind of challenges is that we start adding capacities, man, machine, space, and that's what we also were doing. But then we realized, why can't we look into the examples we talked about, Kalwa, and also in our global network, looking at some of our lighthouse factories, we said we should unlock the potential what we have with the data-driven decisions.
Insightful conversations on how digital technologies are reshaping the future continue on Siemens Transform Innovation Day 2024. The technology spotlight sessions highlighted how Siemens is driving innovation to shape a more connected and sustainable world. In the first session, Siemens experts showcased how AI is driving transformation in manufacturing.
Team Center is a PLM platform, which is a digital backbone for your organization. It helps you to manage the entire product lifecycle data right from concept through to design, manufacturing, and till the sustenance of the product. So it captures all the data that gets generated throughout the lifecycle at various stages. It also helps in cross-functional collaboration because it's not just limited to engineering, it goes beyond engineering to manufacturing, to supply chain, to purchase, and so on, so including the extended suppliers. It also helps you to streamline the product development process.
Siemens is supercharging the entire PLM chain, starting from design to services. Imagine an invaluable assistance by your side, wherever you are. Helps in solving a complex task, like creating a program for your automation system, or optimizing the existing code in your machine, and even troubleshooting error in a machine. If you still think this is a vision, not by long shot. Meet Siemens Industrial Copilot. The purpose of the Industrial Copilot is to help or augment the users by bringing human-machine collaboration to the next level. Currently, the Industrial Copilot is employed in two use cases: Industrial Copilot for engineering and Industrial Copilot for operations. Industrial Copilot for operation aids maintenance engineer or operators. They can ask the questions to a machine, and machine can respond in a human-like manner.
Sensei is the solution from Siemens, which looks into the predictive maintenance piece. It's a fully data-driven approach where we look into the real-time parameters, we look into the critical condition monitoring data, we look into several process parameters, and I'll show you all of that in the live demo. And then we see that where is the system trending to? What kind of anomalies are there? What are those points where we see that there is a potential of failure? And then can we prevent that? Can we give you that heads up so that before that happens, you have enough time to fix the machines, right? So that's the priority. And on top of that, so we have been doing this thing for a long period, but on top of that, what we have done is we have transitioned to the Industrial Copilot. And this is what we name as Maintenance Copilot. So this Maintenance Copilot is essentially a virtual maintenance expert who's there with you 24/7 with complete knowledge about the health of your machines. It knows where things are going wrong, why things are going wrong, and then also what kind of efforts are required or what kind of things you need to put in so that you can fix the machine. All of that, and that complete know-how is reserved within the system.
The second session of the day focused on sustainability, where Siemens experts highlighted innovations for climate protection and circularity.
You see here the Siemens plant, the Siemens factory at Amberg, Germany, which is the lead factory for this type of products that we have here. And it's also the first factory for which we have developed a decarbonization roadmap. The decarbonization roadmap you see here on this graph with the columns going from the baseline in the year 2020 to the year 2030, which is our target date by which all Siemens operation has to be carbon neutral. What we did there was that first we found some efficiency gains, both in the building infrastructure and also in the operations, but not a lot, because the colleagues before, also just for cost-saving purposes, had done quite a good job. And that's a pattern we usually find. Then the large improvement comes from combining rooftop PV with then an electrification of the heating. Is this a footprint for the world? No, because there is no one size fits all for every site. Already the climatic conditions are different, the environment is different, the type of the process you have is different. But what actually works is the method we use to figure out what is the tailored, ideal solution for this site.
So at the outset, Stefan mentioned about circularity being one component of this whole sustainability initiative. So in this regard, what we are introducing here is a semantic model for organizing data that comes from different disciplines of the business. And when you talk about semantics here, what we are really talking about is not just holding data and some kind of relationships between different data aspects, but even encoding certain rules which could be executed at the time of business workflow orchestration, and then derive certain insights and inferences out of this kind of a representation. So the idea here is to bring in disparate content. Business is about different areas, different disciplines, different entities in the ecosystem coming together. And when you have this kind of heterogeneity represented, then what you have is the ability to leverage that richness to provide the right amount of insight at different stages of the business workflow.
Siemens Mobility wanted us to redesign ballast. And what is this ballast? Ballast is a very important part of European train control system. And what does the ballast do? It collects all the dynamic operational parameters based on the runtime of a train, and then it transmits it to the larger system, thereby helping in proper signaling, security, and efficiency. So how do we make it circular is the larger challenge which was thrown. And in order to answer this question, we partnered with a very good mentor and guide. So this mentor of ours has close to 4.5 billion years of experience in designing such systems, right? In designing such systems which are sustainable, which are circular. And I'm talking about Mother Nature. And this is not philosophical one that I'm talking about. This is science. So we tapped into the science of biomimicry. And what is biomimicry? It is very simple. You observe nature, learn from nature, understand the challenges, how it is solved by nature, understand the strategies of nature, and then try to see how it can be applicable. So this is the path that we wanted to take. And what did we do? We just designed a system, right? A system which will be triggered by insights from AI4C. My colleague Yogesh just spoke about that.
So as the next step, what I'm going to talk about is how can we validate such recommendations specific to the problem, derive the insights, and develop the specific solution. So for that, if we take the prototype and making the real device or the component approach, as you all could expect, it is going to take time. To reduce the time is what we are introducing, the simulation and digital twin technologies. The whole idea you have seen, the recommendations coming from NICE, and we have connected the multiple tool chain, the interoperable capabilities where we have multi-objective optimization formulations done in heats. And then some of the KPIs, what we are considering here is performance, sustainability, and cost.
As the spotlight continued, the focus shifted to powering AI-driven data centers and reimagining infrastructure for a smarter, more connected world.
Energy efficiency is a big topic for data centers to survive and for us to have the sustainable future. So 1.1 billion to 4.5 billion is going to be the total investments going to be in the data center energy efficiency topic. Sustainability, green data centers is a talk of the day. Renewable energy has to be there for the data centers. So that is a huge, huge market. 147 billion is the investments expected into this. Now, how a future data center will look like. Previously, if you see here, a data center is predominantly an energy consumer. It consumes a lot of energy. We had the cloud-based technologies. It was basically serving the cloud. We had some cloud-based services actually to serve the data center operations. The data center was mainly cooled by the air cooling systems. but trend is changing. A future data center will look totally different. It needs a lot of energy, so it has to produce a lot of energy in itself in the area where it is operating, or it has to move to a place where the energy producer is able to give a power at a cheaper price. So now the data center, being a consumer, they are going to be a producer as well as a consumer. When the data center is in full swing, they consume the energy, and when there is no much operations, they are at a free will to give the power to the grid. So it is a producer as well as a consumer of energy.
Today, I talk to a lot of real estate developers, a lot of customers, and they all resonate with the challenge that they've built some amazing infrastructure. They've got the best technologies in-house, but the data is all over the place. So essentially what we need to do is move from separate data silos to one cloud platform. And this is exactly what Dr. Peter Cotter was talking about in the morning, where the idea is to bring in data which is in the form of in a hardware, through edge device, through software to software, onto a single platform so that we are able to interpret it better, we are able to understand it better, and we are able to make it put to use better. And that's exactly where Building X comes in. So my topic of reimagining infrastructure is essentially introducing Building X. Building X is also an operating system which is able to pick up data from any building across any geography, across any protocol, no matter what language it speaks. We bring in data onto the platform, and then we offer our customers applications or ecosystem, ready-to-go apps that you can just download from, like how you would download an iOS app, subscribe to an app on Building X. If you have energy efficiency goals, download the Energy Manager. If you have a sustainability goal, download the Sustainability Manager. So these are all productized apps ready to use for infrastructure customers or infrastructure applications. And that, for me, is the first step towards the vision or the reimagination of infrastructure.
Beyond the insightful presentations, the event offered participants an immersive experience at the exhibition area, where Siemens Xcelerator use cases were brought to life. Visitors explored cutting-edge technologies, driving transformation across industry, infrastructure, energy, and mobility. AI and digital twin solutions showcased how industries can automate processes, enhance collaboration, and reduce costly errors. Integrated systems for managing buildings, optimizing HVAC, and resolving facility issues with digital twins highlighted the future of smart infrastructure. Participants were also able to witness firsthand transparent power management systems that focused on increasing uptime, improving asset utilization, and enhancing energy efficiency. Siemens also showcased solutions for sustainable transportation, from future-ready DC chargers for electric fleets to comprehensive rail electrification solutions. Beyond industry-specific showcases, the event featured cutting-edge innovations such as the Global Metaverse Lab, skill development initiatives aligned with industry needs, and the Circularity 360 platform for sustainability planning. At the CoLab booths, Siemens and its ecosystem partners showcased real-world use cases, highlighting the power of collaboration in driving digital transformation. With that, this powerful display of innovation and collaboration for a smarter tomorrow, Transform Innovation Day 2024 comes to a close.
Siemens Transform Innovation Day 2024.